That's the first time to Allensworth?
Yes, my first time.
Okay, your first time? All right, welcome to Allensworth. Allensworth was, contrary to what you guys read out there on them signs, Allensworth was supposed to be the site of the first black college on the West Coast. When you're telling a history of people, history's told over hundreds of years, but Allensworth was only in existence for less than 10 years. So when you're telling a history, of people that's not documented, then what is the most believable story that you can tell? And so the founders, in order for this to be declared a historic park, they had to really tell the story from slavery and farming. Those are the most believable stories that you can tell. And the reason why I chose to wear this uniform to stand here to tell that story is to be able to fill that gap, to let you know that these people was well-off, well-educated business people. And Allensworth was formed to prove to the world that we as black folks could live together socially, economically, and intellectually and get along. Allensworth had the first public library in Tulare County. Allensworth had its own school district. It had its own voting district. It had its own judicial district. Allensworth had the first black justice in California, Oscar Ozier. When Allensworth, the downfall of Allensworth was the river that supplied the water here was diverted. The next thing that happened was the depot, the ship building services out, burned down. The next thing happened in the 60s, arsenic was found in the water. Between 1960 and 1976, any buildings that were standing was either bulldozed or burned down. 1976, this was declared a state historical park. 1996, the buildings that you see here was replicated to the form that they were back during Allensworth Heights. And in Allensworth Heights, it consisted of about 3,000 acres, and the biggest portion of it was located on the other side of the railroad tracks. And this part of it was considered the downtown portion of Allensworth. So what they did was they took homes and businesses and they just resituated them in this particular area. And if you look around, and it seems as though a lot of the houses or homes or buildings are displaced, it's because the owner of the barber shop, which is made out of cinder blocks, he was from San Francisco and he had just survived the 1906 earthquake. So when he moved here in 1910, he wanted to build a solid building, so he built it out of the cinder block. And then the next door, the Smith house to the barber shop, he was from Colorado, so that style home, he had that style. Actually, he had the wood here shipped all the way. He built the home himself. And then this particular house, the Colonel's house, was actually ordered out of Sears and Roebuck catalog. And also we have another prefab home, the Phillips home, which is right down on the corner. Yeah. And if you walk through here, this particular house, when they didn't have enough money to restore, well, they didn't. When they restored them, they left this actually was a room, and this particular room actually was for the Colonel's daughters, and it was all framed off and boxed off. They just didn't put the floor in. They just left it there.
So upstairs was another room up top?
Yeah. And
okay.
Actually, the stairway to this is what you go inside the kitchen. They had a drop down ladder where you actually drop down.
Oh, okay.
Then you actually come across. They had a cutout there where you actually come across and go into the.
How many daughters did he have?
He had 2 daughters. Yeah, he had 2 daughters. And they have a picture of his daughters that they inside.
And sons?
He didn't have any sons, just the 2 girls. Yeah. And if you've gone, and like I say, if you read the signs outside, it gives you the impression that these people were farmers and truck patchers. And then it's why it's important to come inside and view inside of the houses, and then that way you can get a different perspective on who these people were. And just by all the amenities in the home, you can see that these was well-off people. So if anybody just want to walk through and just look and tour, you're more than welcome to do that. You just don't understand it. Let me talk. Yeah. And actually, you
Oh, wow.
to the back porch, and what you have here in the corner, right there, you have an ice box in the corner, and then you have your washing machine, you have your bathtub, and then you have your musical instrument.
Wow.
And this is actually a back porch. That's like almost like a Chase Lounge, a lot of knives. Yeah, that's an ice box, that's a bathtub, that's a washing machine.
His office.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
All those historical.
And that's the colonel's office back there, plus he was a photographer, we also used it as a dark room. Yeah.
Got a little roll top desk. Sears and Roebuck catalog. You could order your house.
Yeah.
Back there, you go to intake from Sears and Roebuck.
Yeah.
From horse trough to house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as the ice melted,
Then you have a pan, and on the bottom now, you have a pan on the bottom.
Catch your water?
Yeah, you have a pan on the water, the bottom, and you catch the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put your, mostly butter and milk, and were probably only perishables that you probably would have in.
yeah.
In there, and you just keep it cool. And a lot of that stuff, you need it during the summer, winter, fall, you probably get away with not having, like I said, fall. Normally they get used to stuff like chill, salt, or down, or whatever.
Oh, it does. Yes, it is.
What was the river that got diverted? What happened?
Current River.
Current River was the one that was diverted for agriculture or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually one of the.
There's the OG.
Yeah, one of the ways to cause the people to not want to stay here to have water.
Water, yeah, you never say hear about water.
Yeah.
That's move them out of there. You got
Yeah.
time, so they.
Yeah, then once that didn't work, then they burned the depot down, then once the depot didn't work, the architect was in the water, that didn't work. They never could, if you look, the town that refuses to die is the main that